Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, my name is Dr. Keith McNally, and this is the Question Guy podcast. This, in fact, is a special edition of the Question Guy podcast because I'm here with Allysia Richardson, and her colleagues are going to put a summit together. So we have 8 to 9 speakers, and they're going to come together in August of 2023, and they're going to give us a myriad of topics and absolute value to our audience. And I'm here to discuss, Alicia, what your topic's going to be and what your focus is going to be and what you expect your audience to take from it.
Absolutely. My topic is going to be more of encouraging the parents to take a more active role in their child's education, and doing it by running from the front. And what I mean by that is having the parent is putting the plan together and going into the classroom and saying, this is what my child needs. And I'm speaking more for the children who have IEP special needs kind of a thing, because typically developing kids, they're pretty good in the classroom, but for those kids who cannot advocate for themselves and the parents are really leaning on the teachers to help them to pass, I want to show them how they can actually get their child to learn to read and do math on grade level, and that they don't have to have a degree to do it.
I know this comes a lot from your backstory, and we've had that conversation before,
Mhm.
and you were emphasizing the fact that parents need to, I guess, I'm going to use the phrase step up. They need to take responsibility for what's really going on with their children, especially in when they reach, school level. But even before that, we also have another speaker. Her name is Kara Tyrell, and she actually takes care of the before the school level. And so
Yeah.
we have a progression of speakers that address different topics at different age levels of their kids. But more importantly, focusing on you, I I know that there was, well, talk to me just briefly about the situation with your son and
Mhm.
why this is so important for you.
Absolutely. Just briefly, I my son was born under a pound, and he developed these different learning disabilities, physical disabilities. And so whenever we would go into like a school setting, the the teachers or in the staff, they would kind of just look at his like IEP or whatever the doctor's report would say,
Mhm.
and they would just automatically classify him and not work with him. And so most recently was, I put him in public school in second grade, and the teacher just was not listening to me at all. Even I would say, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. And she would say, well, he's not doing that in class. And I'm like, okay, well, we have to put a plan together to connect home and school.
Yeah.
But they just weren't for it. And so I had to take a more active role as a parent to just get them to listen. Eventually, I ended up taking him out. And so he is doing a lot better than what he would be doing in that type of environment. However, the strategies that I have will work for, if you decide to keep your child in school or decide to homeschool them. But it's to me, it's very important because I feel like a lot of kids are just being pushed to the side, and parents are, it's not that they want to kind of take a less active role. It's just they don't know what to do or how to do it because they've never been put in this position before.
I think in that regards, the first thing that came to my mind is parents probably feel intimidated.
Yeah.
And that's because you have a circle of professionals, doctors, teachers, whatever the credentials they have. And if the parent doesn't walk in with some type of credential or some type of experience, they may definitely feel inferior or intimidated
Mhm.
because they're in that circle. But you went in there with a mission, and your mission is because of the love you have for your son. And I think that you didn't want to be pushed around. And so I think that's a value right there.
You're right. I think the biggest thing was I just didn't want to be my son's caretaker for the rest of his life. And so I had a vision. And so I just worked toward that vision. And so it was like a selfish reason, but it got us where we are today.
And I think selfish or not, I think the value that you had going forward, it's good to know, or it's good to have that long-term plan. Is that as much as you are as a mother, you knew that he
Mhm.
had potential. You knew that your
Absolutely.
son he could do things and you were going to see it. And I think some of what we talked about before is the words that you used.
Mm.
And I used, we used the word neuroplasticity, I think,
Mhm.
in our
Yeah.
conversation. So through your words and through your intentions, you were able to, at a very basic level, with my grammar here, rebuild your son's brain so that it
Yeah.
would respond to different stimuli and also expectations that you
Yes.
set for him. And I think that's of real value.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right on point.
So with that, what type of audience are you expecting to bring and what do you want them to accomplish when they leave our summit in August?
Absolutely. So the parents that I would like to bring are parents who are they're full-time working parents, whether they're full-time in business, full-time or in a career, and they have children in second through fourth grade who are currently struggling with reading and math. I want to stick with that group for a reason, and it's because that group. There's still time to grow, develop the child's while in school and at home before reaching fifth, sixth, and seventh grade. So it's not necessarily preventative, because preventative would be more so before getting to that stage. But we're actively in a place of where we're seeing the child struggle in these areas. So that's who I would love to bring and attract. And what the result that I want them to take away from it is to be empowered to actually put a plan together, educational plan that is not necessarily guided by the school system or other people, but it's guided by their vision of what they see for their children. And if they don't have a vision for their child, they would leave knowing or having believing bigger for their child. And so that's what I would want them to leave with.
Alicia, thank you so much. This has been another edition of the Question Guy podcast. We want to see you here, well, virtually speaking, in August 2023. Take care.